Welcome, rational thinkers and champions of evidence-based reasoning, to the Free of Faith podcast. This is the place where we dare to peel back the comforting but opaque layers of faith-based claims and expose their logical shortcomings. Today, we're tackling a fascinating illusion. Does the absence of ultimate justice make a God of justice necessary? Many believers assume that without divine judgment, existence unravels into chaos. But that assumption rests on the false premise that justice exists as an objective feature of the universe. Let's reason this through. Imagine a world like ours, stunning and brutal all at once, yet absent any final reckoning. No celestial scorekeeper, no universal scale ensuring fairness. Some flourish through cruelty, others suffer through kindness, and the universe keeps spinning, unmoved. We feel the imbalance, but that feeling doesn't expose a moral flaw in reality. It reveals only a psychological craving for an order that actually does not exist beyond our own minds. That craving runs deep. What we call justice is a collective shorthand for balancing interests in a way that sustains coexistence. It has no metaphysical weight, no moral essence floating in the fabric of space-time. The discomfort we feel when that balance fails doesn't prove cosmic unfairness. It just highlights how thoroughly our species has internalized patterns of expectation that once kept tribes alive. When people say a universe without ultimate justice would be absurd, they mistake psychological disappointment or discomfort for logical contradiction. The cosmos isn't unjust any more than gravity is unkind. It's simply indifferent. Our discomfort comes from our insistence on reading human sentiments into inequity. Earthquakes don't seek punishment. Viruses don't act immorally. The notion of moral obligation never appears in a laboratory equation. Justice emerges from human cognition and cooperation, not a transcendent rule written into the universe. But the opposite is true. When we stop pretending the universe cares, we begin to care more precisely, more deliberately. Life becomes an open field for creativity, compassion, and understanding. Still, many claim that without God, the idea of justice collapses. But the reasoning is circular. They start by assuming that justice must be cosmic, then insert a deity to guarantee it. That's not logic. It's emotional architecture designed to calm existential anxiety. Invoking God to preserve a moral framework merely multiplies assumptions. So what remains once we let go of the fantasy of cosmic fairness? Not despair, but clarity. The universe's indifference doesn't steal meaning. It hands us authorship. We don't receive purpose. We compose it. We don't discover justice. We construct it, using empathy and intellect as our instruments. Consider the rejected lover. Their pain may feel like injustice, yet there has been no cosmic betrayal, but just an emotional imbalance between two conscious beings. Consider also a sailor in the storm. The storm doesn't intend harm. It obeys thermodynamics. Its cruelty is a projection. Adding God to correct them is unnecessary ornamentation on a system that never required moral supervision. Theologians push back. They'll say our feelings of moral outrage point to an objective moral lawgiver. But outrage is easily explained by psychology. It's a survival response, not a metaphysical revelation. Just as compassion leads to the benefits of cooperation, indignation towards perceived injustices can lead to laws that stabilize societies. But doesn't an indifferent universe destroy hope? Hope is valuable, but only when it's tethered to what's possible. Hope built on myth collapses under scrutiny. Hope grounded in shared progress and mutual care endures. So what does an honest, reality-based life look like? It looks like equitability, not moral absolutes, but fair structures built through empathy, negotiation, and evidence. We don't need a transcendent moral realm. We need consistency, transparency, and compassion that work here in the finite space of human coexistence. When we disentangle justice from morality, we gain precision. Morality is a cultural mood board, shifting, interpretive, tribal. Justice, when grounded in equitability, becomes procedural and measurable. It doesn't rely on metaphysics. It relies on honesty and shared reasoning. That's the quiet triumph of facing an indifferent universe. Meaning doesn't vanish, it localizes. Fairness stops being heaven's decree and becomes a collaborative project of conscious creatures. In the end, the absence of ultimate justice doesn't prove a deity. It does reveal the human impulse to invent deities that might validate our self-centered emotions and give those emotions greater weight in an attempt to illegitimately reify them as proper morality. But the universe isn't unjust or absurd. It simply operates without moral texture. The absurdity arises only when we demand it care about our preferences and adopt a corresponding packaged ideology. The universe owes us nothing, and that realization is foundational to the sustained stability of humanity. If this conversation has sparked some questions or even some discomfort, that's a good thing. Questioning is the first step toward clarity. Don't settle for easy answers or platitudes. Dive deeper, explore further, and demand evidence. Head over to Free of Faith to read the full article and join the discussion. Let's keep this conversation going, because the pursuit of truth doesn't stop at questioning. It's about finding answers that actually make sense. Thank you for tuning in to the Free of Faith podcast, where we expose the logical failings of faith and celebrate the clarity that comes with reason. Until next time, stay skeptical, stay curious, and remember, rationality always outperforms faith. Engage reality, and I'll see you soon.